The Emperor has foreseen a new threat rising against him. The Podwans Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Podwans Podcast.
Wow, that was really terrible.
Cast. How are you guys doing today? This is a very interesting episode. We have a few things to talk about. Number one, how many Roblox do you have in your bank account now?
I don't know, but your fucking audio is very loud.
Luke just beat me to it. You know what YouTube just added? We can say fuck now in the first 10 seconds. Woo!
Oh, you can say fuck? Let me move away from my mic and say fuck. Sorry if my mic is loud. How many Robux do you have? Are you a V-Bucks or a Robux person?
Neither.
I'm a V-Bucks person.
Okay, there we go. All right,
I mean,
that's good.
you could tell I'm a V-Bucks person because I own
Where is he going? Where are you going?
Motherfucker. So you know I'm a V-Bucks person.
Wow. And just like that, a million women cried out.
For those of you who are listening and not watching, our good friend Hereth just stood up in his fucking PJs and walked over to grab a Guitar Hero controller to say that he likes V-Bucks.
And then I proceeded to say, and a million women just cried out in terror.
Just put those as bullet points in your next Hinge profile, and you'll be set.
Oh, damn, straight.
What is it? Just V-Bucks
Anyway.
and
I have 10 trillion V-Bucks is all you need. We got some news that is not related to Hereth's dating life.
you mean my non-existent dating life?
I didn't say that.
I did.
I wasn't going to say that either. You just walked straight into that one. But anyway.
Anyways, so one of the movies that was announced, the movie that was announced at Celebration in Japan, Star Wars Starfighter, which may or may not be replacing Rogue Squadron. We'll wait and see if that's real. It probably is. Oh, thank you. Hand delivered. Starring Ryan Gosling and with the director, I can't remember, who did the Deadpool Wolverine movie. If I had my facts correct. Yeah, it did well. I have mixed feelings about all of it. I'm skeptically optimistic, but the news we got is that allegedly Matt Smith of Doctor Who House of Dragons fame will be playing the villain of Star Wars Starfighter. Now, Luke, I'm going to pass this to you because you watched House of Dragon. I didn't. Mm-hmm. Is Matt Smith a villain in House of Dragon?
His character is a great character. He's a very great character. Story-wise, he is. Some would say he's a piece of shit, which wouldn't be too far off.
Look, he's my lovable asshole, okay? He's an asshole, but he's my lovable asshole.
Whoa. Your lovable asshole. He's our lovable asshole. Let's just be real here. We can all share him. Anyway, so, I'm really excited because at one point, Matt Smith was in talks of playing Palpatine in Rise of Skywalker. A young Palpatine, a clone Palpatine.
Gotcha.
And I feel like
I
really that was.
You hear about that?
They had almost filmed something. They were so close to filming something with him.
This is just speculation because obviously that came alongside the whole John Boyega leaked script thing. That those two leaks went hand in hand with each other.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
My theory has always been that Matt Smith was going to come back as young Palpatine. Ian McDiarmid was kind of out of the cards, and then Lucasfilm was like, wait, that's a stupid idea. Why don't we just bring back Ian? And then that came into that, and then Matt Smith kind of went on the backseat for a while. And they're like, oh shit, we have been struggling to cast this villain because that's also been, if you've been kind of paying attention to vague leaks around this movie, correct me if I'm wrong, there were 5 different actors They were almost going to be the antagonist in Starfighter, but that didn't become the antagonist. And then Matt Smith was the one that was like, I'll do it.
Honestly, I am really excited because whatever he does, he absolutely smashes. There's a new movie with... Is it with Ryan Gosling? No, it's not with Ryan Gosling. It's with someone else.
It's the Zoe Kravitz movie.
Yeah. And me and Alanis went to go see Superman when it first came out, like a month ago or 2 months ago.
How was that? Did you like it? Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. It was pretty good. But like, and we saw a preview for that, and I was like, oh wow, Matt Smith is really all right. It's another take, and I mean he's Daemon Targaryen, he's Doctor Who, so he's got the pedigree. There's no doubt about that. I think he's got the acting chops for it. It makes me wonder if he's going to be like a pirate, or if he's going to be like a possible Markion Rowe type of character, where we get the combination of like pirate and scum and villainy. It's not a Sith. Like we go to that concept that we found so interesting in the High Republic, and we put it into live action. I think that would be an interesting beat. Like we take it, how many years would that be? Like 250 years, right? From the High Republic to where we're at in Starfighter, give or take. Maybe 300 years. But like going to that and then having that show up in live action, I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I think like I think a pirate antagonist is probably like up there in like the likelihood of antagonists. I wonder if they're going to try and take Starfighter as, no pun intended, the launching pad to the new Jedi Order. Like who they set up in Starfighter will allude to or become the main villain of the
I
new
would
Jedi
be
Order.
Stunned if they didn't do that. I know Sean Levy's been like saying 50,000 times that like this movie's standalone. There's nothing setting anything up. This is solo. I'm like, I buy it, but I also don't completely buy it. I'm sorry, you don't set a movie post episode 9 10 years before you do the next movie without laying some track of where your guys are going.
Sure. I agree with that. I think that the likelihood of them not doing that is pretty small. But I'll say this, like it does feel good having these announcements, like I know it's not like rapid succession, but like it's just a few months since we even learned about Starfighter. So like it feels good that they're like, yep, this is the movie, this is the director, this is the lead, and then now we have our villain. Like this feels real. Like so many other announcements have just kind of been a title and saying, yep, here's an actor that will be in it. We have thought about the script.
I mean, to like push your point even further, like when they announced Starfighter, it wasn't like here's a movie. They were like, hey, here's a movie and we're shooting in 2 years, guys. Like they legitimately were like, we're not just announcing this in a vacuum.
They're shooting like, is it this year or next year that they start
next year? Because Mando and Grogu comes out next year. So it would make sense if they're filming summer of 26.
No. False.
Starfighter is supposed to release in 2026, right?
27.
No, 2027. They're starting production this fall.
Okay.
Remember Sean Levy said that this wasn't a fake thing.
Yeah.
He said that they were going to go into production this fall. So within the next 2 or 3 months, they're going to be full.
So we'll know the rest of the cast soon.
Yeah, exactly. They can't without it being leaked. That's impossible. Like that's in this day and age. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're not going to talk about superheroes, but like look at the Brand New Day shit. Like every 2 seconds you look at your phone, like, oh, there's a new leak.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a new leak. There's a new leak.
Yeah, it's like they don't even care anymore. That's Spider-Man.
The new Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know that they showed Tom in the new suit, and I know that
that was intentional though. That was
people people got ups. I mean, people get upset over everything these
I
days.
don't understand why. It's just a callback to what Spider-Man suit looks like originally. Like it's like get the fuck over yourself. Jesus Christ.
It's a Spider-Man fandom.
I have no stake in the game. Obviously, like you guys, like I think Hereth more than the two of us like the superhero stuff. But like I've just seen more. I don't know. It's just like, you know, through osmosis, I've gained a lot of superhero knowledge, and superheroes don't do it for me. But the more I like listen to superhero discourse, I'm glad I'm not into superheroes.
Oh, yeah, it's like ramming your head against a wall like 18,000 times as like a Star Wars fan, times that by a million because it's more mainstream.
It's more mainstream and dude bro-y.
But yeah, comic book spaces I feel like are no, because you know grifters exist. I'd say the Star Wars community from a hate standpoint and like the comic book spaces are damn near similar.
They're intertwined.
With the
It's the same grifters on both communities.
It's really the same people. But kind of bringing this back to Starfighter, I read an article. Don't ask me where it was, but I'm sure it was false. But I think it was an interesting article. They were talking about how Rey's new Jedi Order movie is going to be the first movie of like what they're doing with Mando, but in like the film universe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not film universe, in you know, with the films, like it's going to lead up to a big bad. And I think Starfighter could have its moments where it does have those cameos where we get Chancellor Poe Dameron probably or General Poe Dameron. Because I don't know if Poe's really cut out to be a chancellor, to be honest. Like he's a leader.
Janna or Rose, even like you can get like some of the deeper cuts as well.
Yeah. But Matt Smith is you don't just bring in Matt Smith to.
I hope he's not a one and done. I hope they actually.
I hope not either.
I hope he stays.
I think he's got a lot of potential.
Okay, but I guess that leads me to the question of like, do you think everything needs to be a series, or can
no?
Okay,
no. This can be on its own. It can connect if it wants to. It doesn't necessarily have to. With the Starfighter like title, it doesn't. It's like it's about one subject, but it can be more than that. It's all what the director or the writer or wherever they want to take it. This is their story. Wherever it serves it best, that's where it should be. We don't need everything to be this and that. Like, there wasn't enough cameos. Like, we don't need that. Like, Star Wars has never really been about that, except for Mando season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've seen this kind of trend of seeing, there needs to be a cameo. Ever since after Luke Skywalker's cameo in that show,
it's the MCification of Star Wars.
We keep getting the expectation. I want to see flashbacks. I want to see like.
Okay, I do have a question though, because this has been brought up a lot of times, not just like here, but like just talking to people. I was like, everyone complains about cameos and cameos. I'm curious. The ones that I can think of off the top of my head, obviously Mando season 2 with Ahsoka and Luke, right? And that bleeds into the Book of Boba Fett, which had those same characters in a scene together, but then gave us Cad Bane. What other like cameos are we really getting in Star Wars? This, to me, like thinking about it, this is not an actual problem.
I would say 3PO and Ahsoka is the most one recently that comes to my mind. I know we're going like big cameos, like that's still a cameo in my brain. It's still the look, it's something familiar. We're gonna pop up for 15 seconds and then go away.
I guess Mon, but then again, it also fits into
Mon. I wouldn't call Mon a cameo.
Yeah.
It's like
she's a main character.
She was a pivotal part of Ahsoka's storyline with the
Like,
whole like
Hera-
connecting to the New Republic and all that.
Hera and Sabine are main characters in Ahsoka. But like Skeleton Crew has no cameos. Andor has no cameos. The Acolyte shows Yoda for half a second.
Mundi.
Sure.
Kiadiman, yeah.
I just like, to me, it's
Plagueis,
like
yeah, too.
Oh yeah, Plagueis. Acolyte's a little bit, but like really, honestly, I mean the mention of Quinlan, I guess, but it's not. That's not really a cameo because it's not. They're not being seen on screen.
But like, if we're getting into like the nitty gritties of like cameos discourse, like I know like I've talked negatively about Mando season 2 kind of being heavy on like being like the cameo of the week type show, but to me it's like I don't mind cameos if they're serving the overall story. Like they have to go hand in hand. Like I don't want like just nostalgia baiting, like character piecing out.
Mando season 3.
Yeah, like
Zeb and yeah, that would be one.
Okay,
Zeb,
but like
C-3PO are the ones that are like very much like, oh, here we go, bye. Like I wanted to like serve. Like I wanted to have a purpose. Like I wanted to like like push the plot forward and like push characters forward and like actually push stuff in new directions.
I just like, the more I was thinking about it, I was just like, I don't feel like the cameos that people talk, like the way, I'll say this, the way that people talk about cameos, you would think that like Kermit the Frog is showing up. Like, like, and I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I think that there's like, Mando season 3 was last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then we had the Acolyte, and so I'll say you had 3 cameos in a year, and one of them didn't need to be there. Zeb doesn't need to be there. Yoda kind of makes sense.
I mean,
Kiadi-Mundi,
Zeb,
you can say doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense for Mando season 3, but what we know about Mando and Grogu, it kind of makes sense now in hindsight of like, oh, they kind of were just leaving the seeds down for the general audience, so when they watch the movie, they kind of understand it.
I will say he's just it's Zeb from Rebels. I just feel like it's like, I think people make it out to be this huge deal, and then when I go back and think about this, or I go back and like watch like episodes of like random Star Wars series, I'm like, the way, like I said, the way people talk about it, it's almost like you would think that like you're tripping over like characters left and right that just, are just showing up. And I genuinely, I just don't feel that's the case. Like, I think that if we get into the nitty gritty of like, is a character who is not a main character that shows up but has existed in Star Wars before, is that a cameo? Yes, sure, we do get those. But I also feel like when we talk about like Kiadi-Mundi and Plagueis, they're not necessarily out of place. I know the fandom likes to say that Kiadi-Mundi is out of place.
That's very, very, very true. That's very, very true. I agree with that statement. If it's, and it kind of goes back to what Hereth was saying, if it serves the plot, and it's part of the story narratively, I think it's not really a cameo. It's meant to be there. Like I feel like the definition of a cameo needs to be revised or looked at.
Especially in franchises that are so large and expansive, like Star Wars and Marvel and Star Trek. Like like a lot of these franchises, like they are so big at this point that like eventually like you're gonna reuse characters. Like you can't write a new character for every interaction that someone has. Like Zeb coming on screen and talking to another character, like he's in the rebellion, he's in the resistance,
right,
or the New Republic Navy. Like he is a person that would potentially be there. And so like, I think recontextualizing what a cameo is, because like in my brain, a cameo is like a bad cameo is like you bring someone on screen just to get a reaction out of people, and it doesn't serve, like you said, Hereth, it doesn't serve the plot. Like that's a bad cameo, and I don't think we're getting that. And especially when you look at the past couple shows we've gotten from Star Wars, they're cameo free. Like Skeleton Crew has nobody. Andor has.
I was so thrilled about.
Yeah, Andor has nobody. The Acolyte, you can say, I'm going to say it has Ki-Adi-Mundi and Yoda as very, very bit parts. And like, you don't even know it's Ki-Adi-Mundi unless you have subtitles on or you read the credits.
Or you're like
They
really
don't-
deep into Star Wars. You're like, oh, that motherfucker.
Well, no, it's like it could be any like Cerulean. Like, you have to look at the credits to say that that's Ki-Adi-Mundi. They don't say Master Mundi.
I think what gave it away to me was it was the same actor from Revenge of the Sith. So I was like, oh, it's that
No,
motherfucker.
I don't pay attention to that. But no, like it's interesting. It's very interesting that like this always I feel like gets brought up when I don't think it's an issue personally, but I don't know. Like there's not really much we can say otherwise about Starfighter and its lack of or potential overuse of cameos. But
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything else you want to add to it?
Well,
I mean,
say this the least of like, don't get me wrong, I am excited for both Star Wars movies. Like, I will definitely watch both on opening day whenever they drop, and we'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah.
But between the two movies, it's Starfighter all day. Mando and Grogu, I'm kind of like warm about. Starfighter has that kind of potential factor between the two to be more interesting.
It's because it's the first true movie that has nothing to do with anything.
Exactly.
And I think that's the most exciting. It's like Skeleton Crew, like in the sense of like it does its own thing.
It's establishing a new era, which has never been touched for in any media. Star Wars. Like, sure, we have New Jedi Order in the EU, but this will presumably be vastly different and not at all similar in the slightest to what they did back then. And they've probably been doing the groundwork for this era since 2019. Going, okay, what is the post Final Order world look like? What does the galaxy look like?
I think the Mando stuff really sets that up. I think it could set up not only just the sequel trilogy as a whole, but I think it has potential to have intertwining to Rey's movie and then moving forward.
From what we know that is actually in production, like that is actively being worked on, I look at Mando and Grogu as in the same way that I kind of view Acolyte as a bridge between the High Republic and the prequel trilogy. I think that the Mando and Grogu will be the bridge between
the Disney Plus stuff,
the Mando verse to the sequel trilogy. Like, I think that it will be the bridge.
100%.
I would not be surprised if Lucasfilm were to say this movie came out, the movie did good, it did great, it did not as well as it's going to do good no matter what.
I think it's gonna do numbers.
Guaranteed $1 billion.
Movie that's every single first,
on the big screen.
Every single first movie that's come out for either a trilogy or a Star Wars movie of its kind has become the most grossing movie of all time.
There's also nothing around it in 2026. Doomsday got moved to December. Yeah. It's in its own little island.
Yet. Anything can happen. Like something can get announced. Like I think what a lot of people don't understand is that all of these studios have something in the works that we don't know about. Like that no one knows about. Like
absolutely.
Like what I think it was Hereth you were saying is like, yeah, they had to have been working on it since 2019. Like we don't know how long they've been working on it. They've been working on it before Celebration Japan. That's
for sure.
And no one knew anything about Starfighter. Everyone was surprised, and we know that they've been working on it since way before then. So yeah, I just like I'm excited. I'm in your camp. I am more excited for Starfighter than Mando and Grogu. I am still excited for Mando and Grogu. I'm excited for Star Wars to come back to the theaters. And I will say this, Mando is the character to bring Star Wars back into the theaters. I don't care what people
100%.
say. He's the character.
He started off the Disney Plus era.
He is.
And look how well, or I mean, depending on who you talk to, how well or how terrible this era of Star Wars has been. But I will say this: I firmly believe, as someone who really liked the sequel trilogy, your average Star Wars fan, like your friend of a friend of a friend who is a Star Wars fan,
has never heard the name Grand Admiral Thrawn in their life, unless they watch the Ahsoka trailer or the Ahsoka series. I do believe that a lot of people, the way that they viewed it is they love Star Wars, they love Darth Vader, they love Luke Skywalker. 50-50 on the prequel trilogy. And then like 50-50 on the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But most people you talk to, average people, love The Mandalorian. Like they were like, this is the Star Wars I wanted. This is the return to form from Star Wars. Because I think there's people who thought the prequel trilogy was too different. The sequel trilogy was too samey. This was new, refreshing, great. I think that you have people that are on all aspects of what did they like more, season 1, 2, or 3, right? I think season 3 is probably the least favorable of all the seasons, but people like Mandalorian. They like Mando. They like Baby Yoda. You cannot go through a parking lot in America without seeing someone with a Baby Yoda sticker on their car.
Yeah.
Like it's people are going to go see this movie, and I think, will Star Wars fans like it? 50-50. Will your average person who likes Star Wars like it? Almost assuredly they will like it.
I think the most, from an average fan point of view, not like, I know it's not us chronically online fucks or the chronically online grifters will go, okay, that's an okay movie, or that's a good movie at most, and then they'll move on with their life.
We could be pleasantly surprised by The Mandalorian and Grogu. We 100%. I think that in an era where Skeleton Crew and Andor can surprise absolutely everyone with how good they are, I don't see why this movie couldn't be surprisingly good. But speaking of The Mandalorian, what do we think the likelihood that Cara Dune returns in The Mandalorian?
Oh God, Jesus Christ!
Never again. And Disney are a bunch of spineless fucks for giving in to these demands, even though she signed a contract and they fucking.
They're a private corporation and they had the full rights to fire. And if you said similar shit at any type of job, you would have got fired.
Yeah, fuck that. I to be honest, I think it's spineless. I think it's fucking ridiculous that she even gets a fucking platform. She's not a great human being. We all know this.
No. The reason I brought that up, if you weren't aware, is that it has now been confirmed that Gina Carano, the woman who played Cara Dune in Mando season 1 and 2, yeah, who was fired from Lucasfilm and her contract was terminated, she sued Disney for doing that, and they have now settled out of court.
That's such horseshit. It's such horseshit, and it sets a dangerous precedent. Okay, it does.
I'm not a lawyer. We should maybe contact Beth or Chris on this one. This essentially to me feels like neither part. I feel like neither party felt that this was no longer. Neither party felt that there was any value in continuing this lawsuit.
Not because it's hurting her career. What has she been in ever since?
The Ben Shapiro school shooter movie.
Fucking third world country fucking bullshit. The only reason why she's giving in is because her career can't exist. She needs this. She needs this off her record, and she'll do anything for it.
And also because Elon was funding the lawsuit, like that's publicly known.
Oh yeah, Elon as well.
Yeah. Here's my thing. I look at it this way when it comes to basically all things Disney, all things Universal, Sony, Fox, whatever it is. These corporations don't care.
No, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about anybody.
I don't view it as that. I think it's a matter of if they can settle a lawsuit and say, here's the deal. You want to sue me for however many millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. We can settle this out of court. We will give you a sum of money that is certainly not going to be that much money. But basically like it's just not like I said, it's not worth it for any party to continue this. And sure, Disney could stand their ground and say, no, let's keep punching it out in court, or they can continue on with the dozens, if not over 100 projects they have in the works right now, and not focus and allocate resources on their legal team to handle a court case that means nothing. It is her being petty and having a wallet from Elon Musk. That is what it is. I don't blame Disney for just saying, here's your shut up money, go away.
Well, see, you look at it like that. I look at it as it's bigger than that. Look at what politics is doing now. Look at what Paramount has done to Stephen Colbert. Look at these corporations. They're willing to do whatever they can to get into this administration's pocket, and it's fucking insane.
They're not bringing her back. Like they're not saying.
Would it surprise? They literally said that they would be open to working with her again.
I don't think they will.
I don't think Lucasfilm will, but she would be in probably like a Disney live action remake of some kind.
It said Disney and Lucasfilm.
I don't see her coming back. I genuinely
hope not. I hope not, because to be honest, character was dull as hell. How people talk about May and Osha and like how they think that character is how I view Cara Dune.
I think Cara Dune was an interesting character. I think it was a character that could have been fleshed out. Like I will in the same, like you said, was Manosha, is like, that's a character that probably in a season 2 could have been better. I think that Cara Dune, as a replacement for Bo-Katan, could have been interesting.
I view
Bo is so much more interesting.
Cara Dune as, and I mean this nicely, and a lot of people have said this in the community differently and better. She is the stereotypical Jon Favreau woman archetype in any type of movie or show where she's like, I'm the badass woman, and that's all I offer. And like, we'll sprinkle in a little bit of the Alderaan to make her a little bit interesting, but besides that, all I offer is I'm a badass, and there's nothing else to that service.
But here's the thing: is like that's something that could turn into something interesting. She's an idiot, and she ruined all chances of that ever happening. So we won't get. And I'm going to say this. I view, and I'm not trying to call you out, Luke, I view that mentality the same way that people were celebrating the Acolyte season 2 not happening. It's like not wanting to elaborate on something that didn't live up to your expectations and just being like, good, fuck you, get out of here. It's the same thing.
That's fair to a point, but like the Acolyte didn't have a person that was so dumb and reckless and blaming everything.
Well, not be recast. Cara Dune is not Gina Carano. Like let's be very clear that like you can recast that character today.
They should have,
and they didn't. And I think that was a mistake.
I agree 100%. They should have, but now her character will never see the light of day because of the dumb stuff the actress put out on social media. And that's what you get. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. There you go.
Yeah, like it's I don't see Disney working with her again. Like,
I hope not. I think not.
Here's the thing. I feel like if they were, and this were like some type of sweetheart deal, or like, we are so sorry,
we would have heard something by now.
You would have gotten an like the
she wants the good press, so there you go.
Yeah, the announcement wouldn't have been Gina Carano saying, I'm glad we were able to come to a conclusion that suited all parties. The announcement wasn't, hey, Gina Carano won the lawsuit, she's going to be in Mando and Grogu.
You know what the worst part about this is? Outside of the corporation bullshit and like what Luke was saying about like the whole like parallels to like this in Paramount with the Trump administration, it's going to be the Star Wars grifter side of it, just constantly not shutting the fuck up about this.
This is a W. She finally got justice. Like, shut the fuck up.
Like,
shut up.
I think about the grifters that are like, we're so weird when she got fired and were like practically almost like romanticizing her and treating her like the fucking like chronically online girlfriend of the community. It was so weird.
Here's the other thing. It's very, very telling when Gina Carano blocks almost every single person in the community.
Oh, I'm blocked by Gina Carano. It's great.
It doesn't make you look innocent in anything that you did. It makes you guilty.
I'll say this. I have talked to a lot of people that I will just say are on the anti-Disney train. None of them talk about Gina Carano. Like, she is so not,
because she doesn't sell.
She was the flavor of the week when she got fired. Yeah, that was a very blurry autofocus you got there. When I hear people that are upset with Disney over whatever it is, whether it's justified or unjustified, it's typically about Kathleen Kennedy. It's about Rey. It's about the sequel trilogy wasn't planned. Leslie Headland screwed up the Acolyte. Blah blah blah. No one talks about Gina Carano anymore. Like, the people who are talking about things that happened before Gina Carano was fired, they are still harping on shit. They're not talking about her. I think that you're right. I think you're going to have your geeks and gamers and nerdrotic that are going to talk about this for a week or two, and they are going to move on because no one actually cares about her.
Can we just talk about something real quick?
Sure.
Completely off topic. Have either of you watched any of the South Park episodes?
I watched both of them.
Oh, hilarious.
I have not.
You want to know what is so ironic? And I'm not trying to be political right now, but I'm feeling some type of way tonight. I think it's fucking hilarious how conservatives in 2016 used to laugh at all of the jokes about Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. Whenever that show made fun of the other side, they laughed, and now it's not as funny anymore. And I just think that's very, very fucking telling and hilarious.
That's the whole thing. Like, I think that, like, I'm not going to say that South Park is like a super intelligent show.
Hell no, that's the point. It's satire.
Well, no. It like, they subvert expectations all the time. Like, Matt Parker and Trey Stone are not dumb people. Like,
no, absolutely not.
They're very good. If you've ever watched the documentary 6 Days to Air, you realize how smart they and their writers are. But I think that while it's not this like highbrow, like, you got to be really smart to get it. Like, that's not what they go for. But there's subtext in all of their episodes, like the Kathleen Kennedy episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Where, like, the thing about the whole point of that episode was that hating Kathleen Kennedy is wrong. Like, that, like, there's other things to be mad about, and that it's like things aren't bad because they're woke, right?
It's like It's Always Sunny. It's satire. Like, literally, like the gang are bad people, and it's funny because, like, in real life, the actors and actresses are on the other side. So they're making fun of people,
right?
Ironically, and that's what South Park has done for years.
Yeah, they make fun of everyone.
Everything, anyone is on the table.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's just so fucking ironic that people get upset about this shit.
It's not that I'm like, oh yeah, well, they can do whatever they want. They're so smart and they're the best. Like, I think that, like, if you think that South Park has gone too far, you missed the point of South Park, kind of.
Yes.
I just realized there was like a plastic thing on this remote that I've had for over a year.
Nice.
Just took that off. But no, and it's like, yeah, like you said, when you have like conservative folks get mad that they're making fun of Donald Trump, it's just like, you missed the point. Like,
yep.
You should have known when they made fun of anyone that, like, your guy's not safe.
Yeah, absolutely not. Nope.
But yeah, it's. I find that stuff interesting because, like, I've talked to people that like to use South Park, like, especially the Kathleen Kennedy episode of, like, oh man, like, South Park made fun of it. And it's like, it reminds me of, like, people who complain about Last Jedi Luke, but only talk about the middle of the movie.
Yes.
And I'm like, did you finish the movie? Did you finish it? Did you not see what happens at the end of the movie, where he like fully embodies the entire spirit of Luke Skywalker in like one of the coolest ways possible. I'm like, oh, I didn't think it was that good. It's like, you don't actually care about Luke. I get it. And it's kind of like, I look at the South Park stuff that way. It's like, you didn't actually finish. You didn't finish it, and you didn't actually get it. You can not like it. Like, that's totally okay.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry.
But you're fine. Okay.
Star Wars is political. Sorry.
Art is all political.
Speaking of, with Mando and Grogu, I think we've talked about it on this show before, but I have a hot, maybe nuclear take that I want your guys' opinion on.
Okay, all right. What?
So we're in a prequel renaissance right now, where prequels are loved and adored. If you go back in time, prequels were hated and despised. My nuclear take, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to justify it. And I want to hear your take. The next generation of Star Wars fans will bring back prequel hate. Why I say this is everything that has come out, and I mean everything that has come out that has had any amount of like positive reception, like we're talking little to no negative reception, was original trilogy or sequel trilogy related. Andor, Rogue One, Skeleton Crew were all very well received, have nothing to do with the prequels. I think that when you The Mandalorian also has little to nothing to do with the prequel trilogy. The kids, and I mean the kids, like think of it like, I'm going to use Hereth as an example. When were you born?
2002.
When Attack of the Clones was coming out. We are not talking yet to the kids who were born when The Last Jedi came out. The content that those kids are getting, and keep in mind, these kids are not playing the Clone Wars video game. They're not playing Revenge of the Sith video game. They're going to fucking Star Wars land, where it's Rey and Kylo Ren, and there's stormtroopers, not clone troopers. I think that the prequel trilogy and the Clone Wars are so wildly disconnected in atmosphere and theme to everything else Star Wars.
And I feel like we're going to get there sooner rather than later, because right now the current generation of Star Wars fans generally are like, I'll say this, like maybe I'm completely off base, is like 2004 to like 2009. We are on that bridge where we're almost past like the Clone Wars era fans that like grew up with that. We are gonna hit that eventually, like in the next 2 years, where we're talking, where like people are like now like teenagers to adults talking about The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi.
Here's the thing, Chase. I don't think it's a nuclear take. I think it's a kind of expected take, because everything old, it's not good when kids are now. When we were kids, that's why everybody was like, yeah, the original was okay. Like it's the same concept. Like you hear people complain about like me, for example, the original Star Wars, the 1977. The one thing that I complain about the most is Darth Vader's voice. That's nitpicky. That's nitpicky. So of course it's gonna be the same around. It would be weird if it didn't happen that way. And I think that it's my generation. Me and Chase are sort of in the same generation.
I think our reflection of like people that are Hereth's age up to my age, with you being in the middle, is that's the prequel era. Like it very much is.
Sure.
And I think when Gen Z, because keep in mind, it doesn't line up perfectly, but like when the sequels came out, the prequels were about as old as the originals were when the prequels came out. Yeah. And I think that especially people Hereth's age, when they look at the original trilogy, it's old, and they can't connect it with, like, they're movies from the 70s, 80s. They look like movies from the 70s and 80s.
Crazy idea. I know.
And I think that when you have kids, and I mean kids, I'm not talking about the people on TikTok that are like 16. I mean kids today.
Like 9-year-olds to like
5-year-olds. 5-year-olds.
5-year-olds to
yeah,
like
okay.
15-year-olds.
Where the kids who grew up on the prequels, they're kids, right?
Yeah.
Like they are going to like in the same way that like there are parents that, you know, our parents' age that like reluctantly showed the prequel trilogy to the kids, and it was like, oh wow, the kids fell in love with it, because what the movies that the kids today are growing up with, the sequels line up more with those types of movies. They look more modern, and I've said this before about the sequel trilogy, is there are fewer caveats to the sequel trilogy to justify to someone than the prequels. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about the acting, you don't have to worry about the dialogue, you don't, like, you could argue the pacing of Rise of Skywalker, but like there's no like, okay, we're gonna watch this movie, but don't focus on this part. The sequels generally don't have that. Most of the issues that people have with the sequel trilogy are Star Wars problems,
Yeah.
not
Yes.
movie problems.
Agreed. It's
They're-
universe
they're the-
problems.
They're the best shot. They're the best acted. They're the best sounding Star
Yes.
Wars movies, and they feel modern. And
Yeah.
and that doesn't. It's not just the sequel trilogy. It's just that we didn't grow up with Andor.
Correct.
We didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up with a live action TV show that is catered towards children our age. Like, and they have the Skeleton Crew. We did not grow up where if your family takes a vacation to Disney, you didn't get to meet Anakin Skywalker or Luke Skywalker as a kid.
You were lucky to meet Darth Vader as a kid back in the day, because I was a kid going to
Yeah, if
Disney.
you were fucking on a hospital bed dying, you get to make a wish and Darth Vader comes in.
No, I'm talking about
maybe.
like the Jedi Academy, like Padawan, like where they used to have Hollywood Studios in Disneyland, where you like where you used to,
Name, if you pulled 10,000 people in the world, none of them would have experienced that. But like kids today, when their parents take them to Disney, they meet Kylo, they meet Rey, they meet the stormtroopers. Like they get to see the Millennium Falcon. They don't see an LAAT. They don't see an N1 Starfighter. They see the Falcon and they see Poe's X-wing.
Yeah, I wish we would have gotten a Star
Oh,
Wars.
sure. Sure.
you were lucky to
that
get
would
them
be
all back in the day, Disney.
crazy.
But that's the thing that I really think that the kids today, like, and I say kids, I really do mean kids. I don't think they're gonna I don't think they're gonna like the prequels, and I don't think they're, especially not the Clone Wars. I think
Clone Wars, I think, will get a warmer reception than the
No,
prequels. I think
no,
Revenge of the Sith will
no,
get harped on more.
No. I think here's the thing with the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars has the same problem with the prequel trilogy. There are caveats to the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It's 7 fucking seasons long, and half of those episodes aren't very good, and they're out of order. And there's 1,000 people online telling you to do a watch list, and here's how you watch an order.
It's like an
these
anime
episodes.
essential arc, skip the filler type bullshit.
Yeah,
You know what doesn't have any of that?
Rebels.
I genuinely feel the kids today, I don't think that the love for the prequels will ever fade, especially for the people who grew up with them. And I think you will have kids that are kids today that will watch it and fall in love with Anakin the way that a lot of us did. But I genuinely think it's just like the prequels and the Clone Wars are so disconnected from everything. And I'm just going to go timeline wise here. Everything Obi-Wan / Solo forward. It's so disconnected.
Yeah.
I will say because it feels disconnected because it's not Rebels versus Empire.
I don't even think it's that. I think the prequels are very clean. I think the prequels are very shiny and plasticky. I feel one of the things about Star Wars, when you look at the original trilogy as well as the sequel trilogy and all of the Disney Plus shows, there's this sense of worn down and lived in nature to it that the prequels and the Clone Wars do not have. I'm going to even throw the Bad Batch in here. Of it's just like I think that.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, there's Sanctuary out now. That was the thing that happened this week. I haven't read it either. It's on my shelf.
I think that there's such a focus, and this is the thing that the prequels and the Clone Wars have going on for them. There's such a focus on the Jedi. There's a huge focus on how fast those lightsabers are spinning, which is really cool, especially when you're 6 years old.
Lightsaber go burr.
Yeah, it's really cool when Darth Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are spinning at 1,000,000 miles a second. It is cool. There's no denying that. But I just feel like if you started with Andor and you moved forward, like let's say you took a 6-year-old and you said, we think you're mature enough to handle Andor.
I would not throw a 6-year-old in front of Andor.
Solo.
I'll say Rogue One. I'm a firm believer of the Rogue One method.
Rogue One onwards. You watch everything from Rogue One to The Rise of Skywalker, and then you show them The Acolyte, and then you show them The Phantom Menace. It almost feels like totally different universes.
I think that's intentional, though.
And then you get to Luke's favorite show, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then it all feels connected.
It's intentional, though. You have to remember, George was trying to tell a continuation of the story, but the tones are so totally different. You're in an actual war, whereas, like when you watch the original trilogy, you're like, it doesn't, like the Battle of Hoth, is the trench run is the trench run, but
and being inside the Death Star.
No, but I mean like an actual battle sense.
And does Endor not count to you?
No, Endor.
Luke, you're about to summon Char in here and be like, "Hey, give him to scream me about the Battle of Hoth. We're not doing this shit again."
No, all right. What I'm trying to say is, it's telling a complex story. Yes, there are complex themes in the original trilogy, but I feel like George was trying to outsmart his audience by throwing in trade deals, doing all of those things in the first movie, and then having it set up, hey, these trade wars ended up making a big difference, where it's like they're more complex themes than there were in the original trilogy, if that makes sense.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think there are complex themes within the prequel trilogy. This has been a complaint about the prequel trilogy since the prequel trilogy came out. Those complex themes are so complex that I've said on the podcast before, tell me, without using any of the books or the comics or the games, what are the motivations of the Separatists?
There is no motivation of the Separatists.
Exactly.
There you go. That's the thing, and that's why it makes it complex, because you have one person pulling the strings the entire time, and it shows how a republic dies, how things turn out the way they do, and I think that's what makes it a little bit more complex. I'm not saying that the original trilogy is not complex. It's definitely complex. It seems more straightforward as a story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know who the good guys are, you know who the bad guys are, but in this fight, there's gray area. Both sides are both evil and good at the same time, in their own points of view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which that's what I was trying to say, is that it makes it's more convoluted and complex of a story than the original trilogy. I just had to clarify that.
Yeah, I genuinely feel like again, I don't think that, and maybe it might take it like the prequels become hated. I think the better way to put it, I think the prequels will fall out of favor.
Yeah,
I agree too, and I think that's a normal cycle of things.
to
be honest,
even though I'm hoping this generation kind of revolts against the people that like glaze the hell out of Revenge of the Sith. Not you, Luke. I'm talking about the people that like are like blinded and act like it's one of the greatest movies of all time.
It's not a great movie.
It's a
but
cult classic at
nostalgia.
best.
It's nostalgia baiting for me, brother.
Yeah, I feel like, and Chase, you said this before. I feel like the movies that will hold up no matter what the generation you're talking to, even though there are people that will be 50-50 on both sides, will be Empire Strikes Back, Last Jedi, Revenge of the Sith,
and A New Hope.
And A New Hope, yeah, I'll throw A New Hope on there. I think those are the four that will just stand on their own, and people will kind of be like, those are the good ones.
I think that like every trilogy has their controversial film. Like the original trilogy a little less so, but like Return of the Jedi is kind of the controversial film of the original trilogy.
When it was coming out, The Empire Strikes Back was very controversial as well.
Yeah, and even today, there's people who like they just don't like the Ewoks.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and that's the thing. Like George was like, I need an excuse. It could have been the Wookiees. Can you imagine how crazy that would have been if we would have went to Kashyyyk? That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing is like, Return of the Jedi is the quote controversial film of the originals.
Yep.
Excuse me. Attack of the Clones is the controversial film of the prequels.
Yeah.
Like there are people who will always put Attack of the Clones at the bottom of their Star Wars ranking list. And then Rise of Skywalker is the controversial film of the sequels.
Yeah.
Is it though?
Yes. It is the like I view
I don't know. I see a lot more of controversials when people talk about The Last Jedi as well. I think they're both equally.
I would argue Rise of Skywalker is more controversial. While I think Rise of Skywalker has its fans, I think it just pissed off everyone across the board instead of Last Jedi and Force Awakens kind of pissed off specific sectors of the fandom.
I think that the way that people react about Rise of Skywalker is closer to how people react about like people just think that like Rise of Skywalker is a bad movie in the same way people think that Attack of the Clones is a bad movie.
Like I think even people that like don't like Last Jedi will even like admit it's a good movie on a technicality level, like across the board.
It's the best looking Star Wars movie, or like it's the best acted Star Wars movie. There's like I just don't like Luke, or I just don't like Rey,
or I don't like Finn and Rose, or like I don't like Holdo, or other bullshit.
Yeah, like
throw a dart on a board.
Yeah, I think that the Rise of Skywalker will always be the Attack of the Clones / Return of the Jedi of the sequel trilogy. If it's just like it's going to probably be most people's least favorite movie, and then there's going to be the fans that are like super passionate about Rise of Skywalker. Most of them are Reylos, but like,
or they just like Palpatine being the evil villain. That's why I enjoyed the last movie.
I like Rise of Skywalker.
I think it makes sense, and anybody that says that it doesn't make sense,
I will always stand on the hill of Palpatine returning conceptually is a really cool idea. It was just executed fucking horribly.
And you won't hear any complaints out of me with that, because I do agree it's kind of janky.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I think the overall story of it makes it's brilliant, because you have the guy who started at the beginning of the whole series of being behind the scenes. He's one to not die. He's trying to do these things. He's always been the behind the scenes guy pulling all the strings. Why wouldn't it make sense that he has an escape plan?
I said it because funny enough, I was telling this to Chase, like my dad and I were having a bit of an argument about the sequels on the way up to an event, and we were talking about this constructively, and I said to the point of like, you're thinking the person that constructed a 3-year war over the span of, like I said, 3 years, wouldn't have a failsafe plan for the Sith, where the whole rule is that you guys kill each other to overthrow each other. Of course, Palpatine thought that Anakin was going to betray him at some point. He didn't think it was going to happen the way it did, but he had a failsafe for it. Of course, he fucking did. It's Palpatine we're talking about here.
Yeah, and
I would say this is that going back, I haven't like been rereading stuff, but going back to like some of the other things where like Palpatine comes back, in the expanded
I
universe.
need to read Dark Empire. Like, I know it's bad. I know it's bad.
I don't. I will always agree with people that Palpatine coming back was not executed super well. I think what you guys said, like conceptually, it makes sense. This is the best way it's ever been done.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because keep in mind, like a lot of the times when Palpatine comes back, or like Palpatine's contingency, like with the Yuzong Vong and stuff like that, not quite the Yuzong Vong, but like in Dark Empire and some of the stuff that happens in I Jedi, like it's written without the context of the prequel trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
And so it's made up stuff that they're just grasping at straws to bring Palpatine back because they want to make him an even more supreme evil. And I think what the Rise of Skywalker did do is they contextualized his involvement in the Clone Wars, and as well as like his conversation with Anakin about Darth Plagueis. They brought that into the Rise of Skywalker as to how he came back. Could they have done a better job? 100%.
Absolutely.
We could write a trillion different ways that could have gone better, and that's totally fair and totally fine. But how it was done, I think that when I'm gonna say it's going back to like my initial take. If you show the Rise of Skywalker to a 6-year-old, it is not going to bother them.
No,
No, not all.
because that's what they were. These movies were made for children. At the end of the day,
I think if you showed it to a 10 to 12-year-old that isn't online, they'll have the same reaction as well.
Well, I mean, like 10 and 12-year-olds are online now, so.
yikes.
But anything else? Any other fun stuff to talk about?
No.
Nope, not really.
No, you're all good. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a slow bit of time for Star Wars. This week we'll be playing The Force Unleashed, the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 classic.
I got my modded 360 right there, ready to go with Force Unleashed, ready loaded up.
I have it on Steam. But yes, next week we will be talking about The Force Unleashed. I have not. It's funny. I beat the game when it came out on PS3, and I went back to it on PC. Like when I was like, oh, this is on sale for like 10 cents, as it always is. And I went back and I never finished it again. So I'm gonna start a new save. I'll play it on like the easiest difficulty just to get through it. And some of those bosses are like genuinely hard.
Oh, some of the mini bosses and actual boss fights are tough as fuck.
The scrap beast. I remember like trying to play that on the hardest difficulty against like the scrap monster on the trash planet. Like he was like not easy to kill on the hardest difficulty.
Which is hilarious that he puts up more of a fight than Vader in that game.
But yeah, the multiple times that I've played it, I've only beat it once, but the multiple times, but I do enjoy the game. It is a fun game. Yeah. I will stand by it, but it'll be fun to go back through it and just see how ridiculous it is killing Force Ghost Obi-Wan.
Oh, I'm playing the DLCs. That's gonna happen. I'm playing all the DLCs because I have the Ultimate Sith Edition.
I get into it, but yeah, no, fun game. I'm excited to play it again. But if you guys don't have anything else, I don't have anything else. So, Luke, where can we find you all over the internet?
You guys can follow me at Jedi Master Eggs on all social medias. You can follow us at the Pod Ones. Mostly every Thursday. We took last week off just because there wasn't really anything going on. But maybe we'll do like maybe every other week. I don't know. When we have the downtime, there's not really much to talk about.
I mean,
we'll definitely be back next week.
We still got to pick out a book for the end of the month.
Well, it'd be easier if you were caught up on High Republic Phase 3, but neither of you are, so.
Absolutely not.
So.
I mean, what, Chase just finished Fallen Star? Like.
The Woke Republic, am I right?
Jesus Christ.
Sure, why not? But yeah. We did kind of get some Game of Thrones news, sort of, but not really.
Wasn't it like Night's Seven Kingdom is now delayed to 2026?
No, delayed to 2026, but apparently they're gonna start. They've done reshoots, and the show is probably gonna come out around February or March of next year.
I thought it was,
and then they're gonna
JJ
go
was-
straight into 2027.
I thought JJ made it sound like House of Dragons now coming out first, and then that's coming out like December.
I think they're gonna start with this.
It would make sense for them to start with it. Just was going off of what JJ was saying on TikTok.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway,
yeah.
Sorry about that, Chase.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, I guess same as Luke, because I was gonna say like the usual ramble of like, oh, Twitter, da 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 da. Even though I'm on Twitter, it's just hair production on all social medias at this point, because like that's the only real. Because Instagram, Threads, all that, it's all hair productions.
Amazing. I just got a tweet. George R. R. Martin finished Winds of Winter. It'll come out tomorrow.
Nice.
No, he's not doing it. He's never going to finish it.
Over his dead body.
Hey, at least like the author of Berserk died before finishing it. So like,
I mean,
he never said he wasn't going to finish it. He just died.
I mean,
he didn't have a choice. He just
have you ever read? I've never finished it, but have you read Berserk?
No,
never.
You should. We should read Berserk. It's long, but you know. Okay, you know what Berserk is. You know when people talk about like Element 7's been talking about like, he's finished One Piece or he's caught up with One Piece. Berserk is One Piece, but less stupid.
I would make a challenge. Hereth, you and I have to start Naruto, and we got to do like, yes, Chase. You don't have to be there for this conversation.
If we're gonna do anime, we should do Berserk. I think both of you would like Berserk.
Okay.
We'll see. Anyway, take us home.
All right. Well, you can find me at Forward Into the Black on TikTok as well as YouTube and Twitch. I'm here every Thursday, or just about every Thursday, with the Podwans podcast whenever we're doing it. I am live on TikTok every here and there, talking with friends about Star Wars, and occasionally I'll be streaming Star Citizen with friends on TikTok. That's mostly what I do these days. I'm always talking about TikTok Star Wars or TikTok Star Citizen. But that'll be it for this evening, and we will see you guys in the next one.